Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome as we hop into our next game. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, Proxima Station. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Dust Gaming. Give it up for Hush. Korean Protoss player facing off versus his opponent. Spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, the blue Zerg player representing Team Expert. Give it up for Scarlett. Alrighty, PvZ on Proxima Station. If you are not up to date with the meta, let me inform you, ladies and gentlemen. Proxima Station, infamous these days for just carrier all-in. I call them carry all-in. It's not really an all-in. It's a super duper late game play. But it's just carrier builds after carrier builds after rush carrier builds after rush carrier builds. Every single game on this map. It is the most common thing in the world to see. Even players, NA players and EU players alike, even Puck and Mechanic, who are renowned for their disruptor play, are going for carriers on this map. It's gotten that popular. And the reason for it is you have three very easy to take expansions for any Protoss player. You take your fast third over here, you plant down some pylons, you plant down a bunch of cannons while you tech up to your Stargates, and you just go up to 3 Stargates very quickly. You get up a fast +1 missile attacks, or sorry, air weapons. Get out maybe a Oracle or maybe a couple of Phoenix, even a safety Void Ray if you really need it against a big attack. And from there, you can feel pretty confident just going straight into carriers. The cannons and the photon overcharge are there to protect you, and they end up protecting all 3 bases. I mean, unless the Zerg player tries to go all the way along this backhand corridor, knocking down these rocks and then busting into your natural expansion, you're going to be pretty safe. And if they do that, you'll probably catch wind of it with your Mothership Core or something else if you're just paying a little bit of attention. And can probably react appropriately with a couple of Void Rays or what have you. Either way, though, the general rule is Zerg players have not been enjoying so much dealing with Protoss players in the super duper late game, so we may be seeing a little bit of a mind game or a meta game from Scarlett out of this. I'm not sure how she feels about those kinds of builds. I haven't really seen too many of her games playing up against that, but could very well lead into an earlier attack or earlier all-in from Scarlett. Either way, though, it looks like third expansion is still going to be taking, so if there is an all-in, it's not going to be a 2-base all-in, but there is that first Stargate coming on out from Hush. Is getting it after the Mothership Core, which is something else also fun to note, is the fact that a lot of Protoss players also feel oddly comfortable these days delaying that Mothership Core by quite a bit. They delay until after they get out their Stargate and they start a Warp Gate and they get out a first Stalker and then they get out a Zealot, or then they get out an Adept and they throw it on their third and they're like, I should get a Mothership Core at some point. I should make sure I don't just die to a big attack or even a small attack. But looks like Hush is playing a little bit on the safer side. I do like that, especially if you're going to go for this kind of style. The most common reaction from Zerg players is either I'm going to try and meet you and match you in this kind of big macro game, or I'm going to all-in you and just kill you before you get there. As the third expansion finishes up, Scarlett moves in, I believe, with the Overlord, or tried to move in with the Overlord, had to back up as the Stalker was causing some problems for Scarlett. A couple of Zergans are going to try and make their way over to the front, but here's the thing. Scarlett may just, again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Even after having seen pretty much nothing besides the, okay, well now she sees the Stargate just now, but threw down a Spore Crawler before she even scouted that out because she knows it's Proxima Station. That's just how common this kind of build is. Oracle is already on its way out and making its way across the map. Spore Crawlers are finished up though, and Scarlett should be in a nice spot to actually defend against this. Second Spore Crawler and the main base is already coming up, but Scarlett has well-positioned Queens and forces back that Oracle, even getting some good damage done on it. And if you can get a kill on that Oracle as the Zerg player, it actually adds quite a bit of value to the rest of your army because you can suddenly move out much more easily. You don't have to worry about positioning all your queens at the front, and you can actually focus on doing what Scarlett does best, and that's getting that crease spread going. Resonating Glaives going to be coming out for Hush, and a Robo, so we may actually not be seeing that big old mass carrier, mass air style, and this might even just be a little bit of a meta game play from Hush. saying, hey, look at this, I got an Oracle. Hey, look at this, I got a Phoenix coming out. I'm looking for your other Overlords. I swear, you better start preparing. You better go into Hydralisk, and this may just be the big bait and switch where try and force your opponent into going for this huge investment and getting up those Hydralisks as fast as possible, and then you come in with a Resonating Glaive to Adepts. And yeah, Adepts do die pretty quickly to Hydras, but Hydras also die pretty quickly to Resonating Glaive to Adepts. But okay, Lair is finishing on up for Scarlett. +1/+1 is on the way. And there's the Hydralisk Den that we were talking about. The big move out is coming, and it's going to be hitting actually just before the Hydralisk Den would be finishing up and actually able to make any units. So we'll see how much damage can actually be done. There are still quite a few Queens, and there's only 10 Zerglings out on the map. Oh, this is looking really, really dangerous, but Hush is stalling a little bit. Doesn't actually have a Warp Prism, I don't okay, no, there is the Warp Prism. Warp Prism is going to be so unbelievably important. It looks like Hush is going to try and move in, throws down the Revelation on the Queens. This is actually a really nice play because that means Hush can keep an eye out on where Scarlett is actually defending and use that information to his advantage and try and move in with the Warp Prism at the right spot. Sees all the Zerglings moving over to the main base, immediately starts moving in with some of those Adepts to the third expansion. The Queens are still there, but the Adepts can start to focus fire down some of those Queens. And also in the main base, looks like the Warp Prism did survive. It did end up backing up, so well done over there, but not going to be able to reinforce for a little bit unless he actually tries to move that back in and start to reinforce. These Adepts are starting to focus fire down individual drones, it looks like, every so often, but Scarlett's doing an okay-ish job for holding. She's lost so many workers. 30 workers have gone down, but she's still got a bit of an army advantage, and she's got those Hydras out now. So if she's able to move across the map, I mean, the big problem is that the Warp Prism is still alive, but I was going to say, if she can find an opportunity to move across the map, she knocks down these rocks, she may be able to just charge in and try and take out that third expansion. There's not a lot of defenses over here. 6 sentries now, and some Footstone Overcharges are going to be a pretty tough wall to break, but we'll see if Scarlett's feeling up for it. She's already actually resaturated a little bit, sitting up on 50 workers, which, considering the fact that she lost 30 not too long ago, is not too bad. And she's making the very slow charge across the map. The Oracles even have Revelation down on these Queens. It looks like Oracle's still just sitting over there. Oracle is still alive, throwing down a Stasis Trap. This is really nice. Overseers technically getting forced back by a single Phoenix, but will be valuable, and they will probably survive in time to see the Stasis Trap take that out without any problems. Hush is actually going to stand on top of the Stasis Trap. Maybe she won't see it if I just stand really still on top of it. That's not a Stasis Trap, that's a Sentry. Whoa, do we have High Templar in the mix? Feedbacks, I think, coming down from something, and we do have an Archon being made. GG gets called. Looks like Hush is going to come out victorious, taking out Scarlett in yet another game.